Thursday, July 23rd. Welcome to CGN News. The most active part of the hurricane season is still weeks away, but experts' prediction for a busy season appear to be holding true, with the National Hurricane Center now monitoring two systems. Tropical storm Gonzalo, which formed Wednesday, is expected to become the first hurricane of the season. As a result, a hurricane watch has been issued for Barbados, as Gonzalo is expected to strengthen into a hurricane and peak at a Category 1, CNN meteorologist Robert Shackelford said. A watch is typically issued 48 hours before tropical storm force winds are anticipated to reach the location, according to the National Hurricane Center. Meanwhile, a tropical depression has formed in the Gulf of Mexico and is expected to strengthen into a tropical storm by Friday. Two policemen were shot early this morning by gunmen on Constant Spring Road, St. Andrew, Jamaica. The Police Corporate Communications Unit, the CCU, says the incident happened at about 1:30 a.m. while the cops were on patrol. The CCU reports that the policemen approached a white Honda Civic motorcar parked on the roadway. They attempted to make inquiries when the occupants opened fire, hitting the cops. The injured policeman returned the fire, and the getaway vehicle subsequently crashed a short distance away. One of the men fled the scene while the other, who was wounded, was held. The injured cops and gunmen, later identified as 23-year-old Raheem Lawrence, were taken to hospital. The gunman died while undergoing treatment. Some 30 spent shells have reportedly been recovered from the scene. Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, has sought to cool public outrage over his recent statements referencing former Prime Minister, the late Michael Manley. Andrew Michael Holness used his 48th birthday on Tuesday to heap praise on Manley's campaign for social justice when his People's National Party held power in the 1970s. Holness admitted that he was, quote, taken aback by the furor over his comments. At a July 9 launch of the Jamaica Labour Party Education Fund scholarships, Holness had said the island was still paying the price for the policies under the leadership of former Prime Minister Michael Manley. The governments of Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines have agreed to sell their shares in the cash-strapped regional airline LIAT. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown, in an interview with the Caribbean Media Corporation, CMC, following Monday night's shareholders meeting, also announced that an agreement had been reached to sell 3 of the aircraft that had been acquired with funds provided by the Caribbean Development Bank. The other major shareholder government of the Antigua-based airline is Dominica. He said the proceeds from the sale would be utilized to repay or to reduce the outstanding debt. Deputy Prime Minister of Bahamas, Kevin Peter Turnquest, has voluntarily gone into quarantine after being exposed to a person who tested positive for COVID-19. According to a government statement, Turnquest, who is also the finance minister, took the test after learning he was exposed to a positive case earlier that day. The results came back negative. The VP, according to the statement, voluntarily entered self-quarantine out of an abundance of caution. He is said to be continuing his job functions as Minister of Finance, working remotely from home. Overseas now, a $5 million bounty was on Tuesday offered by the Trump administration for information leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro, head of Venezuela High Court. Mike Pompeo, U.S. Secretary of State, said Supreme Tribunal of Justice President Michael Moreno, a close political ally of Socialist President Nicolas Maduro, actively participated in transnational organized crime. Moreno has allegedly been accused of receiving bribes in over 20 criminal and civil court cases, this according to Pompeo. Maduro, for his part, refuted the U.S. charges against him, saying they are politically motivated. President of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, has again tested positive for COVID-19. The announcement was made on Wednesday with the news that he would be extending his 2-week quarantine as well as suspending all upcoming travel plans. The far-right leader has tested positive on 3 occasions since he fell ill July 7. Bolsonaro, who compared the virus to a little flu and attacked stay-at-home measures and other guidelines from public health officials regularly, hit the streets of Brasilia without a face mask. Israeli MPs have taken steps to outlaw the practice of, quote, gay conversion, end quote, therapy by psychologists. the first Middle East country to do so. A bill passed its first stage in Parliament after two parties in the coalition government joined the opposition to vote in favor. Last year, Israel's then education minister endorsed the therapy, triggering a backlash. The bill risks a political crisis with religious parties unhappy at the move. The bill must still pass two more readings before it becomes law. A Chinese scientist suspected of visa fraud and concealing ties to the military has fled to China's consulate in San Francisco, the U.S. is alleging. The BBC reports that prosecutors say the case is part of a Chinese program to send undercover army scientists to the U.S. On Wednesday, the Trump administration ordered the closure of China's mission in Houston, saying it was involved in stealing intellectual property. China has since condemned moves against its scientists and consulates in the U.S. Foreign Minister spokesman Wang Wenbin accused the administration of using excuses to limit, harass, or crack down on Chinese scholars in the country. Following the row over the Houston consulate, President Donald Trump threatened to close down more Chinese missions. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.